Wander, The Ultimate Hippie Trail Journey. It's a great read. I have a ball reading it, and I think you will too. And we think it's going to make a very fine week by week series, if you will. TV, movies. Let's make it happen. Join us. Hello, everybody. It's Steve Reifman. Yep, I'm the guy that we modeled the Stevie Wander off of. And as you can see, this week, it's week 49. We're getting close to a homecoming. We start in Mashhad, Iran, make it all the way across Iran, trains a lot of it, then get to a point where we got to hitchhike, and we get into Eastern Turkey, Erzurum, place I had been before. All these are return travels because I came this way on the way east, and then up to Trabzon on the Black Sea. And that's because I had the idea of taking a voyage from there to Istanbul. Anyway, that's today's travel. Let's get to the particulars, and there are some adventures. September 5 to September 11, 1971. Mashhad, Iran, the first big city in Iran. It's just too much again. These Iranians are just too intense and aggressive for me. They're the most flipped out people I've encountered yet. They easily get into mob psychology and are so damn wild. Of course, there is the beauty and simplicity of the people many times. Much more Western than Afghanistan. Canada Dry, soda pop, and Zagros brand refrigerators. This is the town of the great mosque and pilgrimage that I witnessed going east. And now I know there's a train. Beats those very, very long bus rides on the way east. The primitive Afghanistan is but a memory, feeling the West coming at me mile by mile. The Iranian trains are a cut above. And I get to Tehran, and I find me with an English Pakistani friend going on a very long 4-hour walk about the city. All these very stylish dudes with well-coiffed long hair and dressed to the T in fancy Western garb. Tehran is really very European. It has tree-lined streets, ultimately modern and very Western. Of course, the suburbs are rat holes, the flip of the US suburb-city relationship back home. A few hours after touring Tehran and back to the train station to Tabriz on the way there. Iran is a big place. And after an all-night train ride from Tehran to Tabriz, I make it to the last big city in Iran. From here, there's no more train, and I start to make my way otherwise. I hitchhike halfway from Tabriz towards Baku, the last town near the border, in a Chevy with an Iranian judge and his friend. It is nice and very stimulating. We talk about many things since the judge speaks English quite well. And it makes me think about, yes, I am heading perhaps towards a career in law. Then I sat at a junction for 3 hours in the midst of the Iranian harsh desert countryside. But there's a stream and life. Finally, I jump on a beautiful bus with a great crew of locals and much fluting by me. I bakshish, after pressure, to a 13-year-old girl a silver Sikh bracelet, one of the 3 I bought in New Delhi off a street vendor. After the locals tried to get me to give her the band I was wearing, which I couldn't get off. September 1971, Baku, Iran. It's Wednesday. I'm telling you, this effing country is just too much. I've slept in this town before and didn't have a good time then. Such conflict. I traveled from Mashhad in far eastern Iran with a young guy from England. He was actually a Pakistani. I get here to Baku to find a very nice local guy on the street inviting me to his home. I'm tired as hell, but he marches me around the small town and finally up to his family home on the side of the northern mountainside, up from the main road in this canyon-like town that is the pass that the road to Turkey goes through here. By the time my host's father gets home, he is aware of my presence in this very small town, and my host is in trouble for bringing me home. We eat, but I must leave quickly due to the confined social pressure, probably due to my wild looks in that I can no longer comb my knotted hair and I am gaunt, dripping of India and the road. Social pressure, no freedom. What intense people here. So now I'm in this little cruddy hotel. Boy, that's all I can do is get a hassle here. I'm sharing a room with two Italians I ran into at the hotel here. As I write this, there's a cop in my room. First, he's kind of hassling me, and by the time he leaves, he says, oh, I can come back with a Western girl so we could stay in his house, smoke hashish, drink vodka, and he could have sex with her. Damn, I get so ripped up. With the two Italian guys, we smoke some of my hashish that I have with me. Wow, these guys get so stoned, then there's a problem when the cop comes back with the damn lock on the door. Wow, never having smoked before, these Italians got so crazy that they wind up thinking they have to be arrested, and they start packing up their bags to go with the police officer, and I'm trying to calm them down. Man, these Italian guys could not speak any language that the cops spoke, that's for sure. My pidgin English is still better than their pidgin Italian here in a little town in Iran. I get up this morning here in Baku and I take local transport to the tiny village of Bazargans at the border, still in Iran. Then I walk 2.5 kilometers to the Turkish border. This is nice amongst the mountainous pass that follows the road. I am still in a very bad mood. Those people really got me going in Baku, about as hostile as I have been on the road. But the bus ride going along was so beautiful, and it was beautiful leaving there, here in this wonderful part of the world as far as the mountains go, not the people. Turkey is pleasant after Baku, and some rough experiences all across Iran. Erzurum is a strange town in the middle of far eastern Turkey. It's actually the biggest city around. Has a very rugged feel, but the food is good and it's refreshing after Iran. Eastern Turkey is pleasant and exotic. The villagers all wear the Turkish uniform of an all-black Western-style suit, jacket and pants with a black shirt and cap of wool that gives them the look of 1915 coal miners from Pennsylvania. Turkey really has the consumer thing down even more than Iran. The exotic flavor of the East just isn't here at all. The next leg of the journey is Erzurum to Trabzon on the Black Sea. This was according to the directions provided me by Larry Glazer. I didn't go that way going east, but I tried it going west. I thought, man, it'd be great to take a boat for a while, get off of these trains, get off of these buses. So I made it my way from Erzurum by a bus up to Trabzon, thinking that I could find passage on the sea. I'm in Trabzon, Turkey, on the Black Sea. It's a port, and it's very beautiful with very green mountains. And I'm up into the rainy clouds with water pouring from the peaks along the road. It takes me 12 hours to get here. I feel the home itch too much now, so I have to head straight out home. I'll figure that out today. It's very overcast, and swimming in the sea seems out of the question. So that blows that. I must find out about the boat ride to Istanbul. That's the reason I came here to this town known as Trabzon on the Black Sea. I would love to do that boat voyage, but home is much on my mind. I'm feeling like I just have to figure out how to get there as quickly as possible on the small amount of money I have. September 11, Saturday night, still Trabzon, Turkey. I sit alone in my room and ponder ever so gently all that has gone on for me. There is a boat leaving Monday for Istanbul, and I'll be on it. I haven't written much about the changes I've seen on the westward movement. They've been, of course, quite striking. Outside of Kabul, Afghanistan is some way out place, perhaps as timeless as any place I have experienced. It is like being in the 18th century or perhaps before. While this town is very urbane, after all, it's on the sea, the Black Sea, and it connects directly to the Mediterranean and the oceans. Also, Trabzon is much closer to Europe after my push from the east. Erzurum, at least, was filled with horses with almost no motor vehicles besides the buses which bring travelers. The people seem to live very nicely here in Trabzon. They have cheese and other Western foods, also huge sliced meats cooked on rotating spits. It has really happened quite quickly. The East is just totally a different side of the coin, though I have not really arrived back to the West yet. Next week, it's going to be week 50, believe it or not. From Trabzon, Turkey, spend a day or two there, and jump on, if you will, a wonderful boat trip to spend some days going from Samsun and along the Black Sea to Istanbul, leaving us in the Turkish capital. I spend just a little while in Istanbul, and on my way out, I'm headed west. I wind up meeting up with a guy named Marshall, and we have a ball on the Sea of Marmara, and then winding up on our way towards Greece, and then by the seashore in Greece, we have some more adventures. We'll see you next week for some more fun on the exciting days of 50 years ago from my Stevie Wander journey. Take care, folks. See you next week. The Wander is a great read. It uses something we call the active voice. It's a hell of a lot of fun. You feel like you're right there experiencing it with our wanderer. And follow our route of the journey on our website at wandererbook.com. I purchased a bus ticket for an all-day 12-hour journey to a Black Sea port town called Trabzon. The bus travels in the lush green mountain landscape into the low-hanging rain clouds at the peaks. I love the beautiful vistas of panoramic views that appear as we move along the roadways. The reason I'm heading to Trabzon on the Black Sea is to inquire about purchasing a relatively cheap and easy boat ride to Istanbul. That would get me across this country as well as putting me on the doorstep of Europe in big old Istanbul. I'm getting tired of traveling on the roads and train tracks. Traveling on water seems easier at this point of this long journey. Plus, my limited funds are low, so I need to figure out the quickest and cheapest way to keep moving westward towards home.